Hi, my name is Steven and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how being entitled makes you weak. Know the warning signs. I really believe that a fulfilling life is built upon hard work and pursuing your goals. It not only benefits your own life, but the lives of others around you as well. However, this path is not easy and you have to go through many challenges and sacrifices along the way. And there is an issue that plagues society so that it makes it harder for you to actually obtain life satisfaction and your goals in life. And this is entitlement, the belief that you deserve privilege and special treatment for whatever you do in life. In the past, I've met a lot of people with this kind of entitlement, and it never leads to good outcomes. The fundamental problem is that entitlement blinds the individual to certain problems that they might have in life, and they never course correct for it. And so they never actually grow out of feeling that entitlement. And moreover, it becomes a major setback because then they have more excuses for not to do hard work. When I was younger, in my early 20s and teens, I had this sense of entitlement. But I come to realize that I hindered my own happiness and personal growth due to it. It didn't also have an impact just to myself, but to others around me at the time. So let's go through some of the reasons why entitlement makes you weak. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about my background, how entitlement makes you weak, and my general thoughts. And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, hit that notification bell if you like this content. And here we go. So entitlement means that one is inherently deserving of special privilege in life. Basically, they want success without really putting in the hard work to deserve it. This self-centered mindset also has a lack of accountability for their own personal actions. Usually the case is if something goes wrong in their life, it's always someone else's fault and not their own. When I was younger, in my late teens, I had this mindset. I wanted the world just to give me things without putting in the hard work. Things that I really wanted, but that I hadn't put in the time or effort to try to achieve. Some examples of these are working less and earning more money, getting loads of friends, and getting into a better university. This entitlement really came to a head when I was about 16 or 17 in junior year of high school. The facade during that time quickly faded away as I didn't get into my top universities, I didn't have a lot of friends, and my part-time job sucked. And then as I got into college, I realized that life is much harder than I ever anticipated before. The struggle and realization that I couldn't be entitled and get what I want hit me like a load of bricks. Slowly I realized in my early 20s that I couldn't be entitled and get what I want. Those were mutually exclusive. And that if I wanted to achieve the life goals in my life, I had to put in the hard work. I had to go the hard way. This means putting a lot of energy and focus into personal growth and development. And then put in the work in order to achieve the life goals that I set out to do. It was definitely a difficult period in my life because some nights I didn't want to put in the time or energy. I was exhausted. When you are entitled, you don't really gain the understanding you need in order for you to get out of being entitled. When someone's entitled, they are blind to their own understanding of what is causing the problems and challenges in their lives. And they don't realize that achieving your own goals through your own hard work and effort is way more fulfilling in life than being entitled. So let's go through how entitlement makes you weak. Number one, staying complacent. Entitlement often leads to a complacent mindset in life, where people believe that they deserve success and privilege without actually putting in the hard work behind it. This mentally inhibits people's personal growth, and as they become resistant to challenges and acquiring new skills and talents. When I was in my entitlement phase, I thought I was the cat's meow, that I didn't need to learn anything new to get ahead. I thought that I could have everything that I wanted by putting in the minimum bare amount of work. It wasn't until I got rejected over and over again that I slowly moved out of my complacent phase. And it ultimately convinced me that I just needed to be a better person overall, and that I needed new skills to keep up with my peers at the time. I think that in order for one to succeed in life, they have to have the mentality of constant growth, or to remain curious about the world and those in it. Allowing constant growth, especially as we age, will help us to avoid staying complacent. So by having a growth mindset, you can stave off having the entitlement mindset. Number two, lack of accountability. Entitled individuals often struggle to have personal accountability for their actions in life, and crucially take responsibility, especially when things go wrong. They may blame others or external factors for their failures, and this prevents people from understanding their own shortcomings and working to correct them for the future. And crucially, they don't learn from their mistakes, and it hinders their personal development. There was a time in my entitlement phase where I wasn't getting what I wanted and I blamed others for it. I needed those excuses and blaming others in order for me to not do anything about it. It just felt better to complain and blame others rather than to put in the hard work and get better myself. I needed to look inward and examine why my failures were. Was it because of me or other people? In my mid-20s, when I had the time and space to think clearly about my actions, I realized that it was mostly my fault. I think taking personal responsibility or accountability is very difficult if you haven't done it before. It's very difficult to practice because you have to accept that you're not good enough in the first place. The key for me was building up small accountability goals and then working towards bigger ones. Own the little things in life that you do, and then you move on to bigger things. So entitled people usually lack accountability in their life, and it makes it much harder for them to make progress. Number 3, poor relationships. People with a sense of entitlement prioritize their own needs and wants ahead of other people. And this over time can lead to strained relationships with that other person. They may expect special treatment or be more demanding, and crucially disregard the perspectives and feelings of other people. This can result in conflicts, resentment, or damaged social connections. When I was feeling entitled, I felt that I didn't treat people that well. I felt like I had the power to do anything and consequences be damned. This course of action was proved to be very, very wrong in my early teens. I had lost a lot of friends due to my entitlement, and I had a hard time making new ones. It wasn't until I started to get out of that entitlement phase in my mid-20s did I start to make newer friends. It was because moving to a new city gave me the opportunity to start fresh and clean, where I didn't have the history of that person and I didn't build from a negative standing. Knowing that you have entitlement issues is the first step to course correcting that problem. So for me, I asked around and reflected on why I wasn't making friends. And then I really started to dig deep and understand why I was failing at my friendships. Only then can you start to turn the page and move on to a less entitled state. So definitely entitlement was a source of my poor relationships with people. Number 4, unrealistic expectations. Entitlement tends to create unrealistic expectations of yourself or others around you. And when you have that high expectations, it's often very easy to get upset when you don't get your way. And this can lead to severe disappointment when reality doesn't meet up with expectations. And unrealistic expectations also limit your ability to adapt to changing situations. I thought for the most part I was going to obtain my goals very easily in life. Things like finding a job, getting a girlfriend, and having tons of friends with ease. It was the realization that I had these lofty expectations that I couldn't meet that was the source of my pain in my early 20s. When I started to work on where my expectations come from, then I could slowly unravel why I was feeling disappointed. The easiest way to find the source of your unrealistic expectations is to look at what's frustrating you in life. Figure out, why are you frustrated with this one thing? Is it because your expectations is too high for it? What's at the root core of your unrealistic expectations? Why do you have it in the first place? So when I had unrealistic expectations in my life, I knew that I also had a sense of entitlement. And number 5, low empathy. Entitled people often struggle to understand and empathize with others. Their self-centeredness can be a challenge to connect with others on a deeper level, and they may lack the ability to recognize the needs and struggles of those around them. This limits development of emotional intelligence, teamwork, and personal relationships. In my teens, I didn't know what I didn't know in life. I took relationships that I had for granted. I really wanted that sweet overconfidence in myself, and I really didn't care about a lot of people's feelings. That meant that I didn't really know or understood how people viewed me, and how they really felt about me and the things that I did. I think that my struggles in the past with relationships stem from these core issues of entitlement. I prided myself with having a lot of superficial friends, but without any deep connections to them. When you're trying to assess your own empathy levels, it's important to think about others and what they're going through. Do you understand someone and the challenges that they might be going through? The key is to really deepen that connection with people so you can understand what they're going through. Once you start to do that, you can get a greater understanding of empathy for others. So being entitled definitely limits your understanding of others and what they're going through at that time. So here are my general thoughts on how empathy makes you weak. I think that entitlement over the last couple of years has grown steadily. And there's been a sense that I don't want to put in the work or energy to achieve the things that I want. I just want something handed to me. Or the rise of finding your passion and only doing things that you love. While I'm supportive of people finding their passions, they also have to put in the work necessary to achieve their goals in life. They can't be expected to just get handed that opportunity. You have to work for it. I really think that working hard is the key to building a better life for all of us. No matter your background or circumstance, waiting around for others to try to change your life is just a losing strategy. When you take responsibility, you take the power and control back into your hands so you can craft whatever you want out of life from it. And crucially, you can't guarantee that others will have your best interest in mind. And lastly, I think society needs to shift and focus more on personal growth and development. And through that personal growth, entitlement in a person can gradually wane away. There are many problems in this world, but I definitely think that entitlement can be something as a society we can work to correct. So those are my thoughts on how entitlement makes you weak. Entitlement, when unchecked, can weaken an individual in various ways in life. Because if you believe in special privilege and getting handouts, you'll never want to work for your own success in life. And success and a good life are often accomplished by hard work and determination for your goals. Typically, people don't get handed things and expect them to have a happy life, because people get complacent and they forget the roots that they came from. In my life, I've learned the bitter lessons of being entitled. The mental gymnastics that it took me to convince myself that I wasn't the problem just wasn't worth it. And it really isn't productive or worth it for you to have that mentality in the end. So I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something about how entitlement made me weak. So thank you for watching. Please leave a comment down below on what are your thoughts on entitlement and have you lived it before? And I'll see you next time.